Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here with you again. Thank you for attending our webinar in our committee Life Work Balance. I'm so glad to be here in this pandemic time, still in pandemic, and we have these challenges to deal with. So I'm so glad to be here with you and to present our panelists. So this is the committee about bringing and nourishing our practice and our life. So all the speakers, they have something to add in your life, in your well-being, because we want all to live in the well-being. I'm Andreea Serban. I'm chair of the Work-Life Balance, as you all know, and together we are here to make a difference. So I'm glad to be here and to present our speakers. We have a great speakers today, and I'm so glad having all of them here and to make this shift together, to break through this period of time. So the first speaker is Alina Stavaridis. She's gonna bring you some add value in your life, because we all want to avoid burnout, right? So she's gonna speak about be aware of love, practice of burnout, balance with focus toward your goals. The next speaker is Martina, and he's gonna bring you some energy, some different perspective about quantic balance. And in the end, myself and my sister, Alina, we're gonna speak about what means value in your well-being and how to bring peace of mind. So all speakers, they have different background, different opinion, different education. So please welcome our speakers and take everything it's helpful for you and bring it in your life, in your practice, and help your well-being to elevate. So I'm turning over to the first panelist, Anna. So Anna Stavaridis, please welcome, introduce yourself, present yourself. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Andrea, and the Beverly Hills Bar Association for having me. My name is Anna Stavaridis with MERAKI Fitness. I am a certified corporate wellness specialist and wellness expert. So I do many presentations such as this and wellness weeks to corporations with our corporate wellness services, personal training, and a lot of nutrition services. So with this pandemic, we've moved everything online. We're slowly starting to see people with proper PPE on site, but this pandemic has allowed us to go not just nationally, but internationally to over 10 other countries. So where there's a will, there's a way. So we try to stay positive and look at the benefits of the situation and help others and always be of service. So my business's name is MERAKI Fitness, which MERAKI actually means passion in Greek. It's a passion for what you love to do. So that is what I have. With that, I'll start my presentation and get a little bit more into that. All right, so here is a wellness journey. Beware of law practice burnout. So I have experience with a lot of lawyers in my life, and one of them being my mother. So I grew up with a mother as a lawyer. So I'm very good at taking a great phone message out of that. So make sure to have the details, right? So I'm very familiar with how to have a law practice and going to court and all that it entails behind the scenes. So it's very important to me to bring this message to all the lawyers here with the Beverly Hills Bar Association, and to beware of law practice burnout. So what we'll discuss today in this presentation is basically what is burnout, first of all, and then go through a wellness journey. We'll talk a little bit about mindset, and then go into something within mindset about negotiables and non-negotiables. And then what I like to do is to build that toolbox for you, and with a case study of 4 ways to get started. And then we'll talk a little bit more about how we can help you more. So what is burnout? Burnout is a type of work-related stress that can negatively affect your mental health. Sound familiar, right? So a little bit before COVID, we were always aware of this. And so with COVID now, with so many additional external pressures upon us, this can really be coming to a head in many different practices as well as homes. So are you facing burnout? This is my question for you. So some things to consider in this evaluation would be whether you're cynical or critical at work. Do you drag yourself to work? Are you having trouble getting started? Are you irritable or impatient with coworkers, customers, or clients? Are you lacking the energy to be consistently productive? Is it hard to concentrate? I find this is something that I recognize in myself when I have a hard time focusing and concentrating on something, that I need to take a step back and really reevaluate my balance. So that's a really good trigger for me to evaluate. Lack of satisfaction from your achievements. This is a big thing that I've actually experienced myself, and we'll go into it a little bit more. Feeling disillusioned about your job. Are you using food, drugs, or alcohol to feel better, or simply not feel? This is a really big topic, and this a whole other presentation. In COVID, we can look at the stock market and see how alcohol sales have been skyrocketing. You know, markets are cyclical, and in this particular one, because people are stressed out, because people are at home, they're self-medicating, whether that be alcohol, drugs, or using food. So we've heard of the COVID-15, but some people joke about the COVID-50 at this point. So it's that's a weight gain that's been occurring through this self-quarantine period, and it's significant. And have your sleep habits changed? That's usually the first thing that I ask clients in a one-on-one consultation is initially, how are you sleeping? It really gives me a base to start with as far as what's going on with them. So what I'd like to do is, in working with you, to get you some tools, to have some action items for you to take away, right? We're going to work on this particular sheet. And normally during a presentation, I would hand this particular sheet out or something similar to it, do a pre-survey of what the audience is, their pain points are, what triggers you're having, so that this presentation would be ultimately customized to you specifically. But in general, this is a great way to get started. So as we go through these particular topics, physical health, mental health, and financial health next in the following slides, I want you to keep this slide in mind. So negotiables versus non-negotiables. What is that? Well, non-negotiable for physical health for me would be something like, I need to sleep. So my non-negotiable is that I need to sleep. My negotiable is, where is it that I'm going to sleep? Am I going to go camping? Am I going to go for a road trip? Am I going to sleep in a hotel? Those are negotiables, right? Another example would be simply non-negotiable. You need to have water. Not negotiable would be, well, but I want to have juice and coffee and all of that. So those are very high level examples, but keep those things in mind. What are some non-negotiables and negotiables that come to mind when we go through the following slides? So physical, some things that we talk about with physical health. When I have a client, whether it be in a corporate setting or an individual setting, some things that we start with are their personal goals. Why is it that we are sitting in front of each other at this moment, right? So something similar that lawyers ask their clients, what brought you here? things that you like to do. We always like to have things be pleasurable. This is supposed to be fun. Past enjoyable activities. This is something that's great. Now with COVID, we have some time to be able to explore things that we used to do, used to like doing, and for some reason we don't do anymore. You know, kids, family, school, work, all those things have taken us away from some of the things that we truly love to do. And this helps us to create balance in our lives. We talk a lot about scheduling ourselves first with self-care, being able to plan and prepare to reduce the static and to be able to streamline things moving forward. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a case study. And mindful of health issues, we always ask about pre-existing conditions, nutrition, and there it is again, rest. With mental health, this is all about self-care. So this is again another presentation about self-care not being selfish. Self-care is not being selfish. And this is really hard for some people to understand and accept. You can hear it, but not understand it and accept it, right? So self-care, not being selfish, think of the flight attendant telling you that you need to put your own oxygen mask on first. It's important for you to be able to have strength in yourself, to be able to be there for your client, to be there for your family and your friends and all of the other things that are in your life. This self-care helps you to stay focused and have that balance, staying present. Sometimes things don't go our way, as everyone has experienced, especially in COVID. But staying in that uncomfortable space is a skill that we can develop in this particular time, where it's okay to feel this way. It will pass. We're not alone. And we'll talk about some resources also with all of that in a little bit. Allowing yourself to grow and learning about who you are, and taking some time to invest in yourself. Coming out of this pandemic with gaining some knowledge, having a particular additional designation to your law practice, as different certification, really digging into a niche within the legal profession. Take this time. It's going to take you 3 months. It's going to take you a year, but in a year you'll have it done. A year is still going to pass. So taking that time to invest in yourself. And then there's our financial topic. Sometimes this brings joy to people. Sometimes this makes people want to crawl under the bed. This particular financial health comes from my background, where I was in wealth management for over 20 years. And I was at an executive level and kind of burned the candle on two ends for too long and ended up having my own burnout. And that's where I created MERAKI Fitness from, and now bringing financial health to my students, to my clients and corporations, as an addition to the physical and mental. As an ask from other presentations that we've done, usually we'll survey afterwards and ask what else we can do, always trying to improve our process. So with financial health, some of those negotiables or non-negotiables that you may want to think about are: how much time do you spend thinking about money? Does it cause you stress? Are you having a lack of sleep? There's that sleep again, right? It's a big indicator. Arguments with partner and family. As we know, as lawyers, there's family law, and so that can be a big component of it. Planning is power with financial health. I can't urge that enough. And then employees spending 2 times the amount of time on the clock lately with COVID, dealing with money issues than they did before. Generally before, it was about 2 to 3 hours a week after the weekend, before a holiday, planning a party, that sort of thing. But now it's up to 5-6 hours at least. So, if you're in a law practice, if you're a partner and you want to know what your staff is doing, especially in remote work locations, this can be a really big burden on them without having that proper resource to be able to confide in and to get advisement from. So that's where we provide the financial health partnerships. So here we are back to this slide again. And what did you think of to enhance your wellness, right? So you don't have to do it now. You could, like I said, take a screenshot of this if you write things down as we go, or you want to take a look at it later on. You might want to watch a replay of this. I believe it's going to be going on YouTube, so you can replay this and be able to sit down outside of work hours and really spend some time drilling into this. What are your non-negotiables and what are your negotiables? So, and don't just stop there. Once you have one, it's great to just continue. Maybe then tomorrow add one more. We always work with our clients, letting them know that, it's one thing at a time. We don't have to do everything all at once. I'm not really a big proponent of the boot camp mentality where, it's get 5 girlfriends at 5 in the morning for 5 days a week. That's the massive burnout of about 95% attrition. So I like to build a lifestyle and encounter that behavioral change. There's 5 steps of behavioral change. That's another presentation as well. So we'll move on to those tools that we can have in that toolkit that I want you to walk away from this presentation with, some action items. And through this example, please remember to your negotiables and non-negotiables. Putting yourself in the position of this case study, trying to see what would you do better? How could you improve this better, your process? So the 4 ways that we get started are decide, develop, execute, and improve. So here's a case study. I find that storytelling is always a great way to share and to bring groups together. How do I balance my law practice without burning out? So here are some things that the clients want versus the lawyers, right? Low rates and retainers. What is your experience? How much time are you giving to me? What other training do you have that relates to me? What are some other ways to resolve my issues? When will this finish? And what will the outcome be? And how do I see what's going on? Right? That's a big question, I think, with clients, especially with such with information at their fingertips for so many different things. Now they want to be very much more involved in the day-to-day process of their case. So on the flip side, lawyers are looking for, what is your best case outcome? Realistically, what is your best case outcome? What worries you the most? Are you telling me everything I need to know? Are there going to be some landmines later? Fast and honest responses. Am I doing everything I possibly can? This is that anxiety that can build up in a lot of lawyers' minds. And so that's where we're going to talk about a process to be able to reduce that and to be able to create a better process. Am I currently up on applicable laws? Is everything being documented and filed correctly? How do I avoid unnecessary cost and process for my client? So both sides, clients and lawyers, want clear expectations and communication. How do we do that? So we're going to talk about deciding first, a wellness approach together. We're going to pinpoint our clients' goals, list best communication strategy, survey clients for expectations, realistic timeline of events, gather all the necessary documentation, provide supporting experience, resources, referrals, and partners information, and disclose any possible obstacles. So generally speaking, this sounds like we're going to be giving a pretty good disclosure at the beginning. We're going to sit down, we're going to be with our client. You see paper on the floor here, the famous yellow pad, right? Paper on the floor here next to the trash can. We're going to draft up what it is that we're deciding we're going to do together, right? Communication. Then we're going to start to develop a plan together. So using surveys, develop a timeline, strategize a plan of action and expectations together. I think having the expectations laid out at the beginning and being able to have it be crystal clear so that no one's assuming anything, and there's always things to be able to fall back on as a reference if there's ever a question. Educating your client depending on their legal experience, sharing technology that can enhance experience, itemize any additional documentation that may be required, communicate any further challenges or opportunities that may arise, and what can be done better, more Kaizen. And Kaizen is a Japanese philosophy that strives to constantly improve. And I do a presentation about Kaizen wellness to be able to constantly improve your process. Next is to execute. We focus on the client in front of you while you are with them. This is really imperative. And I talk to lawyers, I talk to executives, I talk to a lot of different municipalities about their teams, their leadership. And as a prior manager of hundreds of direct reports and different offices, I can tell you that the focus and the one-on-one attention to your client, and not having that phone in the hand, the iPad, the person coming in and out of your office, the computer. This comes with streamlining your process and allowing yourself to be able to be present in the moment and make that client feel like they are your only client. And this will go miles with them. Educate and continue to be that invaluable partner in this experience. Support your client if they should change their mind, and don't hesitate to revisit the decide and develop strategies again to modify. So instead of going sideways when things don't quite go our way in this particular process, it's okay to go back up to the top where we're going to decide and develop again. So I use the example in software development. There's always the client creep. So you'll have a phase 1, and the client finds out during that development in different testing that this might not work, and we need to actually add this and add that or take this away. All of those are swept to the side and added into a phase 2 versus continuously growing phase 1. So it's, that explanation, that clarity that is given to the client. But, and if that isn't particularly working, then the developer needs to go back to the beginning. Otherwise, it's going to be fruit of the poison tree, shall we say, right? The roots will be rotten. So support your client if they should change their mind, and don't hesitate to revisit the decide and develop strategies again to modify. So that's very important. I have, a lot of experience with mentors and leadership approaches and coaching and all of that. And that's really important to be able to take one step back so that we can go 2 steps forward. Stay in front of your client's expectations to streamline your output and be more present in the experience with your client. Whether this is a great experience, they're purchasing this, a commercial property, or they're having a really difficult experience in family law, their contracts, or whatever it is. It can be really good, really bad, or in the middle, but you need to be able to help experience that with your client. So in that Kaizen mindset that I was mentioning, where we're constantly improving, that Japanese philosophy of constantly improving, here we are where we reflect, right? We always reflect our process and improve it the next time. After each milestone, ask relative questions, bringing client back to original goals or modified intent. Research competition in current cases, collaborate with new partners to bring relevance to experience. Review communication and technology with client to ensure satisfaction. And is your process fulfilling original decisions toward the goal? So this is really important. The reflection is really important. And after events such as this, I usually survey the audiences for my own benefit to ask them what it is that they liked about the presentation, what it is that they'd like to see in future presentations, and what else I can help them with going forward. So what's the result? Look how happy they are. Have I balanced my law practice to prevent burning out? So streamlining saves time and money for all parties. Focusing on the client gains their trust and allows them to clearly see your experience. Gaining time in your practice allows for focus. Client feels that the fees are justified and costs explained. That's pretty important. And communication plan succeeded by warding off additional issues and misunderstandings. The client may never see what could have happened if the plan was not in place. It's kind of like in investments when markets go down. In managed accounts, we bill off of a percentage off of the asset value, and as the value goes down in a downward turn of market, the client is still being billed a fee quarterly, monthly, quarterly, and we would get calls saying, well, why is my account's going down? Why is it that you're still charging me a fee? And we would say, well, can you imagine how much it would have gone down if we hadn't managed it? So it's a perspective, right? So timeline fell within reasonable agreement, and proper process ensured accurate and timely filings, right? I've had lawyers that haven't filed on time, and it causes a lot of doubt in my mind. What else is happening? Is it a tip of the iceberg where more things are not being done? Do they really have a grasp of my case. So that's pretty out in the open and public when things aren't filed appropriately. So taking that time to step back and really streamline that process, utilizing this time to improve your process, improve yourself, invest in yourself, and hopefully that brings referrals. So some support that you can have during this time, reaching out to colleagues and mentors, coaches and mental health professionals, family, friends, social media, neighbors, small businesses, networking groups such as this bar association, and philanthropic involvement. Always being of service always helps me to get outside of myself, right?
Anna, can you be aware about time, please, Anna? Because
sure, it's 19 minutes right now. So in conclusion, the scheduling yourself first, self-care is not selfish, and balance of mind and body, prioritize non-negotiables, continuously review to improve, and stay connected. So if you're interested in any type of presentations or wellness weeks or us speaking with your team, your agency, or anything like that regarding entrepreneurial coaching, wellness events, that sort of thing, let us know. We do lots of different speaking engagements, and we have wellness weeks with a lot of different institutions as well. So here's a way to contact us. If there are any questions, we can put them in the chat, and that's about it for my presentation. Thank you so much for listening, and stay healthy.
We have the next panelist, the Roy Martina. Roy Martina, and your tips for how to deal with quantic energy, something very special, because it's something very new, very innovative, and we hope to bring more balance in our life through the quantic field, quantic energy. So welcome to Roy Martina, and thank you so much, Roy, for your contribution, and we are so curious to see your perspective, your opinion about this topic. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alina and Andreea, for having me, and also for the roster of very interesting speakers. I want to thank also Anna for a beautiful presentation on burnout. I had 2.5 burnouts, so I'm an expert in burnout. What I want to talk about is a little bit about the part that most of us don't really take time for. We are kind of in a machine where we are so much on autopilot. We do our things the way we do our things, and we sometimes do want to change, but often we work backwards. So if something happens, then we go to try to solve the problem. And what I'm presenting is working forward to have a clear idea about the future. So before I get in there, before I also show my slides, just a very short introduction. Number one, I started out at 6 years with martial arts, and that's where I learned visualization, meditation. Then I became a medical doctor, and I went on to train myself into holistic medicine, where we're looking at a total person, sort of what we call the whole person, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that's where I learned, especially from cancer patients, how important it is to have a clear visual representation of where you want to go. And it's more even important than an emotional or mental representation. If we can see something, if we can imagine something, we already start creating something in our brain that we call synaptic complexes. So the more we learn to visualize, the more the brain starts to, in its neuroplasticity, starts to create the holograms for us to create that future. So 10 years ago, I met my wife, and then we start to learn a new kind of hypnosis where you actually went far beyond your mental capacity into an area where you were, I would call it the quantic field. That's where we've learned that there's so much more than we ever imagined that we can be. Then just 6 years ago, I met in Holland a billionaire who told me that he became a billionaire just by using quantic visualizations. And I was like, oh my God, you know. And this guy was doing 1 hour visualization every day, every morning, where he was envisioning being that person that he saw in the future, which was a billionaire. And within 4 years, he was a billionaire without having a product, without having investments, any of those things. So I'm writing a book about this guy, but that's another topic. So I want to just start with my presentation. So let me just share my screen, and then we can move on here. And I can go here with you. All right. So first, I have 40 years holistic medicine experience. I've been coaching executive entrepreneurs. I've been teaching worldwide, including China. That's why I'm not for the Chinese flu. But anyway, 10 years studying practical application of quantum science. I published 88 books, and I'm also an 8-degree black belt. My partner is a psychic psychologist. And what means psychologist is that she can connect to the quantic field and find information that is not her own information, which is quite interesting. Let's begin talking a little bit about the quantum field. First of all, Nikola Tesla, he said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. An otherwise guy, I would say, concerning matter, we have been all wrong. What we have called matter is really energy, whose vibration has been lowered as to be perceivable to our senses. There's no matter, there's only light and sound. So if we look at the universe, what we will see, or maybe I could say we only see 5% of what's there. 95% doesn't, we cannot register that in our mind or with our senses. So another person said, all matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration. That we are all one consciousness, experience self subjectively. There's no such thing as that. Life is only a dream, and we are the imagination of ourselves. So this goes way beyond what we've been taught in many different things. But what really caught my attention was Einstein, when he said everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. This is what we really want to talk about. Do you have a clear vision of where you want to go, the kind of lifestyle you want to have, the way you want to age, the way you're going to live 10 years from now, 20 years from now? And that's where we get into the quantum field, because that's called entanglement. So if we have a vision of where we want to go, we entangle with that vision, we start to influence the informational field, and we create a phenomena called, I think we call it synchronicity. Deepak Chopra called it synchrodestiny. So from all the infinite possibilities that we have in our future, we are focusing on our preferred timeline. And the more we do, the more that timeline comes to us. We do not fully understand how this is done. And Niels Bohr, one of the founders of the quantum science, says, if quantum mechanics hasn't profoundly shocked you, you have not understood it yet. What he means with that, there are phenomena out there that we don't understand. What we can do is there are ways that we can practically influence this information. So one of the most important things that we are dealing with is what we call disharmonic frequencies. These are unresolved emotions, negative thoughts, conflicts, traumatic experiences, spiritual issues, blocks in what I want to call the chakras, meridians, toxins, electrosmog, dysfunctional organs, and of course the consequence of bad habits, processed food, sugar, smoking, and so on. The goal is to neutralize these frequencies, and then the body will heal itself. The way we do that is to create an image of what we want. So when we talk about quantic balance, we first need to imagine, who am I when I'm balanced? Who am I when I'm living the life that I want to live? How do I feel? What is different between me now and the me I see as my future self? And the more we visualize or connect to this future image, it is the easiest way to change what's happening in the now. Because if you want to change a habit, you're going to fight with yourself, with what we call already established neurosynaptic complexes. That's how we function on autopilot. So by starting to imagine something else, we're starting to create enough vibrations and synaptic complexes where, or what I would say, vibrations goes from the fear level, which Dr. McDonald was talking about, and we go more to what's called the higher frequencies. And the highest frequencies in the quantum field, we can say, is the love frequency. Not the word love, but the frequency of love, which we can find in gratitude, which you can find in joy, in bliss, ecstasy, being happy, forgiveness, letting go, and so on. So the positive emotions and feelings have a much higher frequency than when we're angry, upset, stressed, and so on and so on. So when we start focusing on that, one of the things that come up, we have to unlearn a lot of things. So I like the Star Wars movie. You must unlearn what you have learned, the Jedi said. But also Zig Ziglar said the 3 C's of life: choices, chances, and changes. You must make a choice to take a chance or you will never change. And then Denzel Washington said, in order to change your life, you must change your thoughts. So our objective is to untangle from the past, let go of everything that happened before, all our projections, our perceptions, and basically question all our beliefs, what we know about life, what we know about anything we think we know. The second objective is to entangle with your best future. So health, prosperity, happiness, vitality, the people you want to be with. And, you know, in the past, I wouldn't spend a lot of time on this kind of stuff because I'm too busy doing the things that I should be doing. But since I've been taking around, I would say 32 minutes to an hour a day to focus on what gives me pleasure in my future visualizations, my whole life has changed. Things have happened that I cannot explain. And if you're interested in more, we can teach you more about that. I run classes in quantum mastery and basically teach people how to make this very effective and how to make this part of their lives. So I want to thank you for, you know, listening to me and to be here. And as we say, namaste, we meet where we all are equal. And I want to again thank Alina for, and Andreea for having us here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roy Martina, and for shifting the energy into the quantic positive field. And I wish all of us, we have this, this power, the power within to let go and to forget what we knew and to go to focus on positive energy. Here we are again, who we are. As most of you know, we are identical twins, and we are lawyers for more than 20 years. And
21.
Yes, 21 actually. And we are also 10 years coach for lawyers. We are doing coaching for lawyers, and we wrote 2 books. We are author of 2 books. And we have a different kind of specialization in NLP and Virginia Satir method. And our mission actually is here for lawyers, because we switched from being a lawyer to psychologist and coach. So this is our focus now. And basically, if somebody asked me today, are you a lawyer or a psychologist? It's so hard for me to define myself because I feel both. I can say from today I'm a psychologist and coaching lawyers, not being a lawyer, because it's inside of me. I can't say I'm a psychologist. I just help lawyers, because of course if I have a case, I have a special client, I can help lawyers. So yes, we are both. So it's important how you identify yourself, and sometimes it's good to be in the middle, neutral, and to be able to deal all the roles in life. So now I think we have to go to the next slide. So why to elevate well-being? Okay. So we are lawyers, and we've practiced for more than 21 years, and we ran our law firm with 15 lawyers, and we went through a lot of burnout. So regarding this topic of burnout is something that I think we have to say thank you, because this gives us a possibility to go to the next level and to see in this burnout opportunity how we can go and how we can elevate to the next level, because legal profession is very consumptive, resolving urgent situation, resolving conflicts, and to be exposed to the heavy client's tension. We all know how it is to deal with the tension, with the client's tension. So a good lawyer must deal everything, right? Must be in a great state, must have a good relationship with the client. And most of us, we know that you have to show very strong position. Yeah, I don't know how it's in the United States, but in Europe, in order to be a good lawyer, you have to be very aggressive. You have to be a shark. Like, you are a good lawyer when you are very aggressive and you know to fight. You know to be like a strong. Even you are a woman, you have to be a man. So it's hard to be a lawyer being a woman. so this is another course. This is a special, specific webinar.
Exactly.
For
this
women.
This is our way. Why to elevate? Because especially in this period of time, our intention is to live well, right? Well-being is to live well. But what means to live well? To be strong, to cultivate this state of being and mindset and different focus and different resources, I think we have to go to the next slide to move forward, to dive deeply. So let's do a short introduction in the well-being values.
Yeah, I would like to start with something here. We all have so many information about well-being, how to be in a good health, how to be in a good mental health. But if we don't have our own value, well-being, it's unnecessary, all the information. It's like we are looking a picture. If you are not working on your values and you don't put the first value, well-being, you can't be focused. I mean, where you put your focus, there it's your mind, your thoughts, your action, and your life. So having this value of well-being is so important.
Yes. So taking in consideration this aspect, you have to see holistically the well-being. You have to take in consideration your relationship, your nutrition, your community, relationship with the community, your spiritual connection, your family balance, work-life balance family. Also, your financial well-being, because also financial, it's important, having peace of mind and being in the state of well-being. So you have to see holistically all these aspects. And as Alina said, you have to have the value of well-being and your focus to be toward well-being.
Yeah, because if I ask our colleagues, is familiar with you to be in a well-being financial, but not in a well-being health? It is. Many lawyers are in this situation, having a good financial state, but living miserable.
Yes, or feeling very, very, small inside, even you are very big outside.
Right.
So the well-being is so important to see holistically and to have this awareness and to recognize where it's, the missing point, the missing line, the blockages in all this chain. Okay, we go to the next slide. Factors that influence the well-being. First is the physical health. Right? When you are in front of the client, if you have some pain in the body, your physiology, it's important. So the relationship with the client is going to affect your business, because if you are tension, if your body it's closed and you can relate with the client, you can you can build a trustful relationship with your clients, because you have some pain in your body and some physical pain, it's affecting your business also. Right? So first of all, you have to feel good in your body.
Happy, intimate relationship with a partner. It's about the relationship, personal relationship. Like
Yes.
In your family, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend,
Yes. So you have to have also a network of close friends, because you feel safe. When you have close friends, you feel more open. So when you feel more open, it's some safeness. So you are not in this surviving mood or fight, flight, or freeze. So with friends, it's kind of releasing. It's, resilience way to go to this state of well-being. Then is the belief system, the most important. This is the most important, the belief system, because if you believe that those factors are going to affect your well-being, we start from there, right? So you have to observe your beliefs, because if you believe that something is bad, and for example, you say, I'm a lawyer, my life, because we heard in our session, a coaching session, we heard like this, but it's our life, lawyer's life is like this, we don't have life, So this is very painful.
Stigma. Yeah.
This stigma, this is very painful, and to see we don't have life is lawyer's life, and this is belief system. So if you have this belief system and you try to work on different
kind of, you know, a part of well-being, like nutrition, financial, is not a way to reach the well-being, because the belief system always is going to be a conflict, and always you're going to sabotage yourself moving forward. Or another thing, lawyers believe they have to work hard and many hours, and being always there for the client is true, but you can be for the client if you are not for yourself first. If you not serve yourself first, you can serve your client in a properly way. Yes. Then you have to have some fun, some hobbies. It's very good, you know, to don't forget about having fun. Lawyers, they like to have fun. Then optimistic outlook, realistic and achievable goals. Okay, so if you have a realistic, achievable goals, then you don't put a lot of pressure of yourself. So you have more different discipline. So you have a little bit more peace of mind and well-being, a sense of purpose and meaning. And this is very important, because you have a purpose, and you know, when you have a contribution to a purpose, it's making you feeling, and you achieve the self-esteem. A sense of belonging is very important. This is one of the Maslow needs in the very top. So yeah, you have to this is the place here, because you think like a lot of lawyers who are participating in BHBA webinars, they feel that they are belonging to something. They feel safe, and always it's nice to know I have this support. Yes, thank you, Beverly Hills Bar Association, for creating this. Is very important. This is a real gift. Yeah. So resilience and living in harmony. So let's militate for harmony. Go to the next slide, please. And like, you know, all these resources we were talking about, we have to find a way to make it simple. So we have to have a plan, to have a strategy, you know, a well-being mindset we are talking about in a simple way, because, you know, well-being, you have to be relaxed. You have to think in a simple way and not with another pressure, with another stress, right? Let's give an example, making a conscious choices. Have you ever had a situation in your life where you had your food in front of you and you had your phone ringing from your client? You choose to eat and to leave the client in the second part, or you choose to answer and having your client like in the first line? Yes, we're gonna move through all this, and we're gonna explore more. This is a conscious. Yes, we're gonna explore more. Next, let's start with the purpose. Okay, let's see the purpose. You start with making conscious choices. Yeah, we have a purpose first, right? So if we are not having the purpose, well-being, it's very difficult, you know, to move forward. So let's see, your values are, you know, like family, health, you know, vacation, traveling, diversity. But when you put in the first level your purpose, my purpose is to have well-being in my life. This purpose is covering the whole resources that and the whole values you think before. So when you have this purpose, you have to take actions, you know, because when you have the purpose, you know where you are going. You have a direction. Yeah, it's like automatically pilot. But in order to do things without being aware, sometimes it's good to do things without being aware, but to do good things, like choose to eat healthy. This is could be on pilot, automatically pilot, but at least it's a good choice, a good habit to eat healthy, to exercise, to think positively. If you can turn those behaviors in a automatic pilot, it's amazing. Yes. Then you increase your self-esteem, because when you have this purpose, you feel more confident because you have a direction. You are not feeling yourself lost. Then it's helping you to reduce stress and to increase productivity, right? And we are going to invite you now to write down your well-being goals. This is going to be your homework, to have a list in your journal to write down your well-being goals, your purpose, right? So when you have all these well-being goals, you're gonna be aware where you are and what is your direction. So now please go to the next slide. Okay, clarity. clarity is part of this strategy to achieve the well-being and to be aware about your values. Because clarity means power. When you have a clarity and you have a clear mind, you function from your neurocortex, and you are not in an emotional state. You are not in a primitive brain. So you have this clarity. So you have a plan, you have strategy. You can be present, right? When you have clarity, you are in the present moment and you see very clearly what is the next step. And you can also respond but not react. So clarity is very important. And the second one is feeling in control. What does mean feeling in control? I would say the most important thing is to feel in control of our emotions, because it's so hard when you try to be in control in this external world. The most important thing is to be in control of how do you react to something external in your life. So being in control, we talk here about being in control of your emotions. We had another webinar talking about emotional intelligence, and you can find there on the more information on the YouTube BHBA. Yes, another aspect that it's very important, and how clarity brings you less stress, right? We were talking before, because you are acting from the conscious way, and you are not in the emotional state, and you are not in the survival mode. So you are you're less stressed, right? And then it's increasing your energy, because when you have clarity, you have clear ideas. Have ever happened to you to have this clarity, to know exactly what you want to do, and to feel this enthusiasm and this energy, boost of energy inside of yourself? Like you I don't know how, but I know I'm gonna achieve this. Yes. So this is all the energy we can build, having this value of well-being. Yeah. Then getting comfortable and slowing down. Right? Because when you have clarity, it's not the pressure, or not confusion, or the doubts are going to disappear. You get rid of this, this distraction, because it's clarity and no disturbance, elements, factors are around. Then making contact with oneself. When you have this clarity, you are in contact with yourself. You are in contact, and from that place, you're gonna act, and you're gonna make the conscious choices. We're going to go to the next slide to talk about this. And in this point, please, a little bit, we had another homework. Write your reflections for what is clarity has been for you, and what you're feeling. So remind yourself how it was when I had this clarity in my life. How I felt in that moment, what it was about my body, my emotions, my mind, how was for me having this clarity. And write down your reflections and meditate on how does feel for you this feeling of having clarity. Go to the next slide. Making conscious choices. So speak about the cookie or the orange. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes I choose cookie, because it's sweet, it's nice. But if we are thinking how sweet it is to be healthy, you're gonna get rid of the cookie. I'm sure if our value is healthy, in front of a cookie or orange, if you remind yourself, my value is well-being and healthy, you for sure, I'm guarantee you're gonna get rid of the cookie, of the cupcakes. Yes. So it's so important to put on your value list health. It's so important, because it's like you talk to your subconscious mind, you give like a kind of command. I choose to be health. So when you have the dessert in front of you, you can choose. Yes, so this is important. And after, automatically you find yourself in making conscious choices. This is not only with food, it's with everything. For example, you have in your personal relationship, or in your client's-lawyer relationship, it's important to have harmony, right? Because our purpose in work-life balance and our motto is act in harmony. When for you this is important and this is a value for you, right? And you want to bring harmony, you make a conscious choices to get rid of anything, you know, bad thoughts, judgment, to get rid of this energy.
Toxic relationships.
Exactly. You get rid of these toxic thoughts that are not, you know, toxic just for the person you think in front of you, but also for you, for yourself, for your body, because we have the kind of the same field. We have the same field, so we share the same energy. So this is a conscious choice, right? When I decide I get rid of this.
Yeah, you were talking about the collective subconscious. So even you are okay, it's so important to see who is around you, because we are influencing from others.
Yes, our environment is important. So being congruent. What means being congruent? When you have value and you define, this is my value, harmony, healthy lifestyle. When you have those values, you go and you act and you meet your values. You meet your values through your actions, right? So if, for example, for me it's health, as Alina said, if for me it's health, I'm not going to eat a cupcake, right? Mm-hmm. This is congruence. I'm congruent. What I'm saying, I'm doing, right? This is congruent. Then you have to put boundaries, right? When you put boundaries, it's something that you keep focus on your value, right? You put boundaries. You say no to the cupcake and yes to orange. Why? Because you have values and you make conscious choices. So you have to put boundaries to say no to some toxic people, relationship, environment you are acting on, or friends, or choose your peers that they are aligned with your values. So be aware when you say yes and no. So for this part, right, what choices you'd use for helping your well-being, and make a list. Good luck. So now we go to the next slide. Okay. Focus. This is very important one, right?
Yes, improve productivity, maintain balance between work and social time, time management, reduce procrastination, and improve self-esteem.
Yes, it's something very important, because when you have all this plan and you have focus, it's gonna go right away to the target you have, to your goal. You're gonna have productivity, you're gonna gain results, you know, because if you have all this strategy and you miss the focus and you are going distracted by something different and you don't have this alignment with what your plan is, then it's not helpful, right? And focus are two aspects here. Focus, taking consideration to be focused, inner focus in your inner world, what you think, how do you feel in your body, and have this awareness, this focus, and also have a focus around yourself, your environment. See what is there, make observation, be aware what is going, you know, against your values, and be aware about this. Focus is something very important.
Yeah, you remind me something. I had a client, very successful lawyer, and he was so focused. He was telling him, I'm so focused. When I have something in my mind, I'm gonna achieve. And I asked him, how much focus are you on your inner world? And he was kind of shocked. He couldn't believe that focus could be changed in an inner focus. And this is very interesting point, as Andreea said, be focused in your inner world. This is the beautiful and interesting focus to have.
Yes, yeah, because focus is going to improve your self-esteem for sure. You're going to feel more confident and more good in your skin, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So in this part, we are inviting you to become involved, to make a list and to write the activities where you can become involved that are aligned with your interests, right? If your focus is in well-being, is health, go to the communities where they are sharing the same values. Choose your peers from the same field, the same, you know, with the same values, because this is a way to move slowly and not to engage yourself, to deal with some conflicts within yourself. So this is a good way to choose your environment. The environment is so important. And now in our world are so many communities where you can find a lot of, you know, diversity regarding, you know, values, different kind of values, hobbies, passions, could be nutrition, sport, nature, anything. Find your values and find your peers and community. Okay, next slide.
Try to be optimistic and enjoy each day. This is like easy but not easy, because being optimistic, I'm saying it's an energy you need to have. Being in a positive thinking, being in connection with yourself. You can be optimistic if you are not in connection.
Yes. So this is all about peace of mind, right? Yeah. All these states and all these well-being values, in the end of the day, they're going to bring you peace of mind.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's the end, the harmony, the peace of mind. We all are looking for this to live well.
Yeah, and peace of mind is kind of like working in the gym. It's like kind of muscle. You work with your mind to train your mind to be in this state of peace of mind. It's like going in the gym, taking care of your body. But why we don't take care of our peace of mind, of our new and good mindset of well-being?
Yes, and also don't feel guilty. Try and be gentle.
Exercise, practice.
Yes, be gentle with yourself. Don't judge others. Don't, be gentle and try to keep this peace. Feeling good about daily practice. Find every day some satisfaction you like. Something about yourself, about your day. Find different things you like in your day. Increase saving for tomorrow. We were talking about well-being, financial well-being.
Right.
Be aware about your finance, about savings, about everything.
Yeah, and join communities with the same values.
Yes.
With the value of well-being, because in the last time me personally, I choose my friends, because if my time is so important, and I prefer to spend my time with people with the same values. Even our old friends, I choose to be with friends that we share the same values, because you feel like your energy it's improving, your state of being, and it's so important to have people around you with the same values.
Yes. Then sleep good.
Yeah,
it's very important. Also find some practice that helps you, meditation, well-being, yoga is very good, breathing, and some resources. There are so many things. Yes. And nature, it's very important. When you are in the nature, everything, the system is going to be relaxed automatically. Be aware about how much time you spend in the nature. It's good every day to be in the nature and to spend time, because this is how our nervous system it's adjusting to the well-being.
Next slide.
And are you ready to allow yourself to be happy?
To eat the marshmallow?
Right? So
after we talk about well-being values.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is
the sweetness of being well-being.
Exactly. Living in well-being. So this is our presentation. This is our mission, our values we were sharing with you.
Allow yourself to be happy.
Exactly. Allow yourself, give a permission. Go away, get rid of the old belief system, and today take a decision to increase your well-being
and to be happy.
And to be happy.
You look at the sky and you can see the blue sky.
Exactly. Give a permission and say, I give permission to myself to be happy and to live well. This is all about us. Nobody can dance our life. I like how Gabriel Roth says this quote. Gabriel says, "No, I can dance your life. You can dance your life." So allow and give a permission for yourself.
And if you don't have a partner, yourself is the best partner.
Exactly. So the next slide. Thank you. Here we are. Thank you. We can close here.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, everyone, all speakers for the contribution. Thank you, all participants, and
thank you, Beverly Hills Bar Association.
And thank you, our participants. And here we are. Thank you so much, and see you in the next programs.